Never been escorted. One time I was escorted by policemen. They were rushing me to jail. I've never felt it was such an overwhelming exhilaration to see the rum riders, red rum, to be part of it, and to see the guys working to welcome us into we will remember it. And some of them were actually tears were coming to their eyes about the whole scene, almost like a presidential escort. And I told her that you are part of what is causing this welcome. For the longest walk, we've had some, internally we've had some rough days. The first longest walk in 1978, there was 200 people. When we started planning it, we only planned for 17 people to go all the way. That night, at the Oakland AIM chapter, I said, okay, who's going to go all the way?
Right there in the glasses.
17 people raised their hand. So we started planning for 17 people.
Oh,
Not realizing that a lot of people wanted to do it. So we had that morning we went to Alcatraz, February 11th, 1978. We had planned for maybe about 200 people to go out with us, to go out to Alcatraz. And you have to call ahead and you have to rent boats. And they seat 300 people. And then I realized that morning, we have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. And we have to be at the dock at 4 o'clock to be under, to go out to Alcatraz. But it was so crowded, that we filled up one boat, 300 people. And then we had to call another boat, 300 people there. And another boat, 300 people there. And another. We had 4 boats with 300 people on it. So I didn't realize then how big the longest walk would be. Until then. And the purpose of that walk was because Congress was introducing 11 bills to do away with the DIA, Secretary of Interior, to do away with all the treaties signed between Native people and government. And they do away with the hunting and the fishing and the trapping and the wild rice and the gathering of medicinal plants and herbs, harvesting wild rice, harvesting timber. And they were going to do away with all of them. Say, kick them loose. They're citizens of the United States. The 1924 Act, a lot of people thought it was a good act because it made Native Americans citizens of the U.S. They only did that because there was a lot of Native Americans that were in World War I. And a lot of them were killed. Some are still in France and bodies. So they went ahead, and they couldn't give any medals to anybody because we weren't citizens of the United States. So they did that. I've always thought it was a bad idea in terms of us, we don't need to be called U.S. citizens. We are citizens of our own nation. And that would give us strength. We are citizens of our own nation. So, we don't need to stand there and say, oh, this is our country, by the way. This is our own nation. So, the American Indian movement fought against Indian civil rights. Indian civil rights can be terminated by this legislature or the next one. The treaty rights and the ancestral rights can never be terminated. Our ancestral rights, that's our rights that the Creator gave to us. They can't be terminated by anybody. So, and then they said, well, if you get behind the Indian Civil Rights Bill, and we said, no, we don't need to do that. But it was passed anyway. So, but there's been no benefit coming to that because we have our ancestral rights. We argued that in the Supreme Court, and they said yes. Native people have ancestral rights where they originally, where the domain was, where their home was. That's where they roamed. That's their home. They agreed with that as late as 20 years ago, Minnesota. The state of Minnesota said we should only hunt and fish on the reservation land. And our position was no. We used to go to all this area. And that's where we want to hunt and fish. Our ancestral areas. And Minnesota Supreme Court ignored that. Repealed it, went to the U.S. Supreme Court. And they said Minnesota erred. They found what Minnesota said and did. They said not only do they have a right to hunt and fish on the reservation, they have a right to hunt and fish on their ancestral area. They said, yeah. So that's what you have to think about all the time. You've got to think about what ancestrally, what were you doing? Where were we doing that? So don't cave into a state's rights. States' rights will always look at your land, the rights to do away with it. They tried that with Public Law 280. So, but back to what I came up to say. Today, I wore this little document from the Lumbee people.
You're glad to have you.
So, hey, Doug, that's easy. Oh, okay. This is Chief Hatcher from the Wampanoag Nation. There he is, right there. So, I've known about the Lumbee story since growing up. So, Congress are the ones that created the Lumbee people's rights. And to me, I thought as long as Congress is doing that, creating this, then why not go one step further, U.S., and say you have federal recognition? Because you were created by federal officials. So my job now is to also, this is a Lumbee nation. They have, you've seen the beautiful programs and the university system and this building itself. They aren't just people with limited rights. This is a nation. They've been grinding year in and year out, grinding the attorneys, lawyers that come from this nation, physicians, and during World War II, aces, they call them aces, flying the planes. So this is a proud people with a proud history. And they will remain that way forever. We had the pleasure of them coming over to see us 5 to 4 days and start planning stuff out. And when people start coming over to greet us, then I know, like the feeling at Alcatraz. When we start filling up this boat, and that next one, and the next one, and the next one, at 4 o'clock in the morning, people were getting up. And they realized that yes, we needed to walk across this country. We would walk across this country because we know this country. We know every foot of it. And it has been kind to us. This is our Mother Earth. We are part tree. We are part mountain. We're part ocean. We're part river. Every little rock is part of us, and we're part of that. So please understand that Mother Earth, we are children of Mother Earth.
Yes.
And we will always be children of Mother Earth. There'll be no end to that. Congress in the United States might pass legislation terminating this tribe or that tribe. Bullshit. They should worry that we don't get together and that we start talking about termination. We can talk about termination as well. The only thing is we have a moral right to talk about it.
Yes.
They might say, that's another thing about what is legal and illegal in this country. A lot of things are legal or illegal. That's not what is the issue. The issue is what is right and what is wrong in this country.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we have to look at it. Not what's legal and illegal. So, I have right now in Minnesota, Minnesota, there's a man who killed my granddaughter, and the state, him and the state are negotiating for the time that he has to do. How much time are they going to give him? That's what they're asking. He should be. There's a lot of things that I should say. I shouldn't say here. The welcome this morning.
Excuse me.
Absolutely awesome. Made me feel strong. This was Washington, D.C. With this kind of a reception, I think, right on! Holy crap, these people are awesome! Today I'm Lumbee. This is a Lumbee. We got this the other day. I put on my hat, and we were in the store over in South Carolina. This guy said, "What do you got on your hat?" He said, "Oh," he said, "you're Lumbee." I said, "Today I am." He was giving me ice cream. Yeah, and he shook hands, and I said, "Oh man, thank you. I feel good being a Lumbee." So the red rum riders that I have never felt any greater. No greater moment in my life, well, except when I watched one of my children be born. But I've had no greater feeling than to be part of a group of people that were being welcomed. And I couldn't speak. Couldn't speak loud. You just waited. The way you owned that road today. One of these days you guys are going to get welcomed. I said, you're going to feel it. Today they felt finally, after 4.5 months, over 4.5 months, 20 days left to go, they finally sensed, they finally felt, they finally heard the thunder, and they saw the people. Welcome. Oh, men are not so crying. So, I'm 79 years old. And that's the first time that I felt this way. Thank you very much.